The world of football always creates us from the same places. The same countries, the same academies, the same systems. But sometimes, a player emerges from a place no one has ever looked at and changes the entire game. When he opened his eyes in Tbilisi on February 12, 2001, he heard the sound of his father Badri's football boots. To understand how strange a playmaker's fate can be, you only had to look at his father. His dad was Georgian, but played for the Azerbaijan national team. For Khvicha, football wasn't just an old medal passed down from his father, or just a game. And this skinny-looking kid, who carried storms inside his soul, years later stepped into Naples, Italy's most passionate, most chaotic city. And no one had any idea what was coming. In streets where the shadow of Diego Maradona still lives on every wall, scoring goals alone was never enough to earn the nickname Kvaradona. You had to make an entire city believe in love. Even his name is hard to pronounce, but the mark he leaves on the pitch, impossible to erase. From the poor neighborhoods of Georgia to the man who made Napoli champions after 33 years, the new prince of PSG, and maybe one of the names we'll hear the most at the future Ballon d'Or ceremonies. So, how did this man earn the nickname Kvaradona? How did he lead Napoli to glory? And how did PSG spend millions just to sign him? Today, on the 94th minutes, we are telling the full story of Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. Khvicha's story actually begins the very moment he steps onto the pitch. Summer of 2017. He's just 16 years old. Called up from Dinamo Tbilisi Academy to the first team. Back then, no one in the Georgian league really knew his name. But on September 29, 2017, everything changed. The opponents called Ketipoti. The score 1-1. A locked game. And in the 62nd minute, the manager makes a decision. Khvicha, get on the pitch. For the first time in his life, he wears the professional jersey. He touches the ball, he runs, he's out of breath. But that day, something becomes clear. This kid was different. The match ends in draw, but Khvicha's eyes, they're shining. That season, just 5 appearances. Not much time, but every single touch reveals something special. And then, the first goal. November 19, 2017. Away against Shukura Kobulati. The game ends 1-0. And the goal? Khvicha, 16 years old. His first professional goal. Maybe there were only 2,000 or 3,000 people in the stadium, but that goal was the first piece of something millions would witness later. But life doesn't always go in a straight line. March 2018. A contract crisis at Dinamo Tbilisi. Khvicha can't reach an agreement and suddenly he's a free agent. At that age, most players would brag. But Khvicha, he doesn't. He immediately signs for FC Rustavi on a free transfer. And there, he finally gets consistent playing time. In the 2018 Erovnili Liga season, 18 matches and 3 goals. But stats don't tell the whole story. His dribbling, his speed, his courage. Cutting through the defenses like they're not even there. His teammates start saying this kid is on another level. Then 2018. And something even bigger happens. The Guardian releases a list of the 60 best young talents in the world. And who's on it? Khvicha Kvaratskhelia. 17 years old, playing in Georgia, and already on the radar of world of football. That's when the nickname is born, the Georgian Messi. Because when the ball touches his feet, it feels like he's alone on the pitch. Cutting inside from the left, shooting with his right, beating defenders. Everyone says the same thing. There's something about this kid. Start of 2019, a new door opens. On February 15, 2019, he joins Lokomotiv Moscow on loan, one of the strongest teams in the Russian Premier League. Limited minutes, but still he wins the Russian Cup, the first trophy of his career. And then, a sentence that would echo in time. From Eurosemin, I'm very sad we couldn't complete his permanent transfer because he is a real talent. Just 18 years old. Already on the radar of big European football clubs, already lifting his first trophy, already called the Georgian Messi. Khvicha was 18 and the door to Russia was wide open. On July 6, 2019, he signs a 5-year contract with Rubin Kazan. At that age, a 5-year deal. That tells you everything about how much the club believed in him. And then, fate plays its game again. His very first match for Rubin comes against the team that let him slip away, Lokomotiv Moscow. He comes on in the second half, scores the equalize, and is named man of the match. As if he's saying to his former coach, look at what you lost. Every month at Rubin Kazan, his value keeps rising. Faster, higher, stronger. Russian media already calls him one of the best transfer in the club's history. The fans? They are in love. During the 2021 season, he's named Player of the Month 4 times. The Russian league was no longer enough for him. Big European clubs were waiting at the door. But then, something no one expected happened. War. Early 2022, the world changed. Russia invades Ukraine. And suddenly, football becomes something else. FIFA makes an emergency decision. Foreign players in Russia can suspend their contracts until June 30 and leave. On March 24, 2022, Rubin Kazan makes it official. His contract is suspended. And the same day, his ticket is booked to only one place, Georgia to Dinamo Batumi. This wasn't just a transfer. This was a return. A return to his country, to his roots, to his family. In the shadow of war. At Dinamo Batumi, he plays 11 league games, scores 8 goals, makes 2 assists. In just a few months, he's named best player of the Erovnilo Liga for the second half of the season. Short period, massive impact. Those months were a bridge for Khvicha. He brought everything he learned in Russia back to Georgia. And in the process, he found himself again. The fans welcome him like a hero, because he wasn't just talented, he was one of them. But Khvicha knew something. This wasn't a destination, it was a step. Because the door to Napoli was very close. And when that door opened, world football was about to change. Summer 2022. Khvicha is just 21 years old and has no idea that his life is about to change forever. On July 1st, 2022, Napoli announced the signing from Dinamo Batumi 10 million euros. And back then, Italian media asked, is this kid really worth it? No one knew what would happen. But Khvicha, he stays silent. Because he didn't come here just to play football, he came to take back a kingdom. August 15, 2022. Serie A is starting. Away against Hellas Verona. He steps onto the pitch and then goal, assist, win. Napoli fans are stunned. Some whisper, who is this kid? Others just can't believe their eyes. 1 week later, against Monza, 2 goals, his first Serie A brace. He becomes the first player in Napoli history to score 3 goals in his first 2 games, and before August even ends, Player of the Month. Kvaratskhelia is no longer just a player. He is a storm, fast, unstoppable, unpredictable. October 4th, Champions League night, against Ajax. Napoli destroyed them 6-1, and Khvicha scores his first European goal. February 2023, Player of the Month again, and then March against Atalanta. That goal, the run, the balance, the finish, like a chess grandmaster, checkmating an entire defense. Is not just goal of the month, it becomes goal of the season. Everyone watching says the same thing. This kid is not from this planet. And then the sacred dates, May 4th, 2023, against Udinese, 1-1. And in that moment, Italy explodes. Napoli are champions after 33 years. Khvicha ends the season with 12 goals and 10 assists, Serie A assist leader. A kid from the dusty streets of Georgia has conquered the heart of Italy. But the top of football is never always sunny. 23-24 season, a 6 months goal drought. Doubts begin to rise, critics appear. They say one season wonder. But on September 27, against Udinese, he scores and the drought is over. He finished the season with 11 goals and 6 assists. Second top scorer behind Victor Osimhen. Then comes another milestone, October 10, 2024. Fourth Serie A Player of the Month awards, matching the record of Paulo Dybala. At this point, Khvicha is no longer a star, he is a living legend. But every legend has an ending, and every great low has a goodbye. January 16, 2025. The phones of the people of Naples buzzed, and suddenly the city froze. Napoli were leading the league, charging full speed toward their second consecutive title, and then Kvara posted a farewell video. No warning, no interview, just a short clip, and the silence that followed was deafening. Fans were furious, disappointment burned. Some were angry, some were in disbelief. Some just stay silent, staring at their screens. But one day later, January 17, everything became clear. For a record fee of 80 million euros, PSG announced to the world their new prince. Khvicha arrived in Paris like a storm. January 25, first game, and that assist perfectly measured to Dembele. A clear message, I'm here and I'm not coming quietly. February 7, he scores against Monaco. Then comes April 5, PSG are crowned League One champions. And Khvicha, he becomes the first Georgian ever to lift that trophy. On May 23, his former club Napoli are Serie A champions. Khvicha isn't on the pitch, but thanks to the 17 matches he played before leaving, he is officially recognized as part of that title-winning team. 2 days later, another trophy, the French Cup. At this point, Khvicha is no longer just a footballer. He is a trophy machine. And then, that legendary night, May 31. Champions League final, opponents Inter Milan. PSG dominates 5-0. Total domination. And the fourth goal belongs to Khvicha Kvaratskhelia, history made. PSG win their first ever Champions League trophy. Khvicha becomes the first Georgian to score in a European final and the second Georgian after Khvicha Kvaratskhelia to lift the trophy. He doesn't stop. In summer, a goal against Seattle Sounders, first Georgian to score in the Club World Cup. Then, victory over Tottenham. Another trophy, UEFA Super Cup. But for Khvicha, none of these golden cups, none of the Champions League medals compared to one single sacred moment. 2024. The Order of Hana is presented to him. Not just a sports award, but the highest respect a nation can give to its own son. That day, Khvicha proved he was more than a footballer. He was Georgia's voice, Georgia's face, Georgia's hope. So, is Khvicha just talent? Look at the trophies. Serie A, League One, Champions League, countless individual awards. But his greatest victory? 2024, holding his son. Now, he's not just a star. He's a father, a husband, a hero. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia's journey is far from over. At PSG, with the national team, and maybe soon, with that elusive golden Ballon d'Or, he will keep rewriting history. From the dusty streets of Tbilisi to the lights of Paris, the world will continue to watch as this extraordinary man takes it by storm.